What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about the insecurity of tall lifters. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to empower tall men. Because I get a lot of comments that are really like, it makes me sad to see them, and I just don't want guys having these beliefs anymore. So let me help you guys out. If you're short, stick around anyway. I think you're going to learn something nonetheless. And yeah, let me be of service to you. So first and foremost, a lot of tall guys are insecure about their size because they have long limbs. And when they have long limbs, it makes them appear lanky. You hear it all the time of the skinny, tall dude who wants to gain weight or build some muscle. Now listen, folks, for all you guys who are in that position, what you have to understand is that, yes, you may look lanky now, but if you train for 5 to 10 years, you're not going to look lanky. In fact, you're going to look fucking incredible. And let me say something even crazier. You're going to dwarf the manlet who has better proportions, if you will. Because what you're doing right now, this is why you're frustrated. You're comparing yourself to a short guy who has like really stocky arms, or really stocky chest, whatever, and you're thinking, damn, because I'm tall, I can't get that. So you're going to end up hating on the short dude because you're insecure about yourself. Now listen, you shouldn't think of it like that. Your mindset should be this. When you get really buff, regardless of the proportions, regardless of the stockiness, you're going to dwarf everybody, okay? This is a fucking fact. For example, I'm 5'5", right? If you're 6'5", and you train for 10 years, I promise you that if you stand right next to me, you're going to dwarf me. You're going to completely dwarf me. There's going to be no question about it. Sure, your arm might not look as stocky. You might not have that meatball appearance. You are going to be taller, but you're still going to dwarf me. We have seen this time and time again if we look at just regular tall guys versus short bodybuilders. There was that guy who was like 7 feet tall who worked out Rich Piana, completely dwarfed him. There was that 7-foot Swedish guy who dwarfed fucking Big Ramy. Big Ramy, guys, he dwarfed Big Ramy, even though he has way less muscle size. So the thing is this. It may look lankier. If you're just looking at yourself in the mirror, I could see why you're going to be like, I don't look that buff. But trust me, when you stand next to actual buff guys who are shorter than you, you're going to completely obliterate them. And furthermore, if you can obtain similar muscle measurements, you're going to look way fucking better. That's a fact. So if I got 16-inch arms, right, and you bring that shit up to 18 and you're 6 foot, dude, you're going to look incredible. No one's going to be able to fuck with you. So these lanky guys just need more experience in the gym. They need more experience in the gym, and they got to stand next to a short guy to see how big they actually are. Because a lot of you dudes, man, you don't realize how big you actually are until you stand next to a short bodybuilder. That's when you know what's up. So I would consider a blessing, actually. Being tall is a blessing. Regardless if you have the proportions of a short guy, you're still going to look big. So there's nothing to be ashamed of that situation, all right? Secondly, the whole strength thing. A lot of these tall guys are like, well, I got long limbs, therefore I have to go through a very large range of motion, and it's hard for me to compete with a short guy. Yes, that might be true from a relative strength standpoint. Like short dudes, like if you're 180 pounds at 6'5" versus a short guy at the same weight, well, he's going to kick your ass for the most part because he has a lot more muscle mass than you because his height allows him to do that. But guess what? In the absolute strength world, you're going to wreck him. You're going to wreck the short guys. This is why all strongman competitors are tall. You don't see any 5'5" strongman competitors. It doesn't really happen. Because the larger your skeleton is, the more muscle you could produce, the more strength potential you got. Imagine if you were 8 feet tall. Could you imagine, think about that. Imagine you were 8 feet tall. Do you realize how high your genetic potential would be? Do you realize how much muscle and strength you put on? Yes, you're not going to be better than a 5'2" guy with really good relative strength, but from an absolute strength standpoint, you're going to be fucking amazing. So there's nothing to worry about, all right? You guys have to stop being insecure about these things, okay? You have to embrace the fact that you have a large potential in gaining strength, size, etc. It's so fucking simple. Regardless if there's more range of motion, it does not matter. You have a bigger skeleton, you could put on more size, more strength in the long term. You're going to be a beast if you train for long enough. So don't compare yourself to a short dude, okay? And then the next insecurity, this is a really big one. And this one has to stop because this is fucking up your mentality as a man. Not as a lifter, but as a man. Which is looking down upon short men. A lot of tall dudes, because they're frustrated with their lankiness and a bunch of other factors, they're going to try to look down upon short men to make themselves feel superior. But by doing this, they're actually making themselves inferior. Because you're just basically being a bully at that point. It's similar to how, imagine you're a bodybuilder, right? And you look at an MMA fighter and you're making fun of him because he's smaller than you. You're like, he may be a world-class MMA fighter, but at least I got more muscle than him. That's the same mentality that a lot of these tall guys have. Tall men are pretty much the only guys on the planet that are constantly spamming manlet in comment sections. Skinny tall men for the most part. Because they're insecure. They feel threatened to the fact that a manlet is going to look stockier, and typically they could have a really good relative strength. They feel insecure about that fact. But I'm here to tell you guys that you should not be insecure about that. I already told you that you're going to dwarf a guy who's short. You're already going to dwarf him. So what discussion is required further? Like what do you have to say beyond that point? You're going to dwarf a short guy if you're standing next to him. It's a done deal. Why do you have to constantly spam manlet, manlet, manlet? Why do you have to insult people who are shorter than you? Well, I'm 6'5". I'm 6'5", bro. Great for you. I'm very happy for you that your parents had these genetics, right? And they pass them on to you. I'm very happy for you, man. That's great. But why do you have to constantly attack shorter guys? I really don't see the purpose in that. Like, if your identity, if you have to do that to make yourself feel good about yourself, you have a low fucking sense of self, man. Like, your insecurity is fucking through the roof. So just stop comparing yourself to shorter dudes. Stop saying, oh, well, he has a shorter range of motion, so I'm stronger than him because I could use a similar weight but longer range of motion. Just stop. Stop comparing yourself to short guys. Stop saying manlet, manlet, manlet. Stop getting pissed off all the time, guys. It's fucking up your mind. This is not what real men do. Could you imagine a 60-year-old man who's been training for 30 years going on a fucking guy's comment section and spamming manlet? Like, think about the following scenario. Imagine a guy who's 6'5". He walks into a gym and he sees a short guy lifting heavy weight, and he goes up to him. Well, you're a manlet. Like, doesn't that sound insecure? Does that not sound insecure? Seriously, guys. That sounds fucking pathetic. So you gotta stop with that bullshit, man. You gotta become one with yourself. Stop looking at all these short dudes. Stop insulting everybody. Look, you're tall. Embrace it. You got absolute strength potential. You're gonna look fucking massive. It's badass. There's nothing required beyond that point, okay? So that's really all I have to say, man. Those are the major insecurities that I found with tall men. I don't know really what else to say. I hope that this video helps some of you guys out, become better men. If you have additional feedback for these tall guys, because I'm not a tall guy, so I can't speak for all of them, then I would suggest that you put a comment down below and give some help to my brothers and I, because we're all a community here. I don't care if you're fucking 5 feet, 5'10", 6'5". I don't care what height you are. Everybody's welcome here, and I want to make this as positive as possible and not have these dudes so fucking insecure. It has to stop. So that's it, folks. I will talk to you all next time.